Welcome back to SBR Videos. Here with us is handicapper Ross Benjamin to talk some NFL. Today we are going to be discussing the Patriots All-Pro tight end Rob Gronkowski. We'll take a look at a proposition bet pertaining to Gronkowski and also what the Seahawks defense can do in order to neutralize him. Hi Ross, how are you today?
Very well. Thank you for having me again, Silvia.
Thanks for being here, Russ. Let's start with a proposition bet that you like. Can you elaborate on what that prop is and what your selection will be in that regard?
Certainly. The prop involves the number of receptions that Rob Gronkowski will have in the Super Bowl. Going over 6 receptions is posted at plus 105, and going under that number is at minus 125. Considering the fact, since Game 5 of the season, Gronkowski had 6 receptions or more in the contest on 9 of 13 occasions. He's also averaged 6.1 receptions per game during that time frame. On 2 of the 4 occasions that he failed to accomplish that feat, he fell just 1 catch shy with 5 receptions in games versus the Jets and the Lions. My advice here is to make a very small wager on going over 6 receptions at plus 105 for Rob Gronkowski.
And you had some interesting observations in today's article on how Seattle can attempt to neutralize Rob Gronkowski in the Super Bowl. Can you share your thoughts on that topic?
The job of keeping Gronk in check will be easier said than done. However, if there's any defense capable of doing so, it's certainly the Seattle Seahawks. Here's the thing, when they position Gronkowski on the line of scrimmage during early downs, more times than not, a linebacker has the responsibility of pass coverage. That being said, there are few, if any, linebackers in the NFL that can stay with him in man-to-man coverage. The Seattle linebackers must be able to do a good job of jamming him at the line of scrimmage, which will prevent him from getting a free release downfield, and then depend on some coverage help from one of their safeties. On a positive note for Seattle, their safeties collectively are the most physical in the entire NFL and should be more than up to the task. The other conundrum that the Seattle defense will have is when they split Gronkowski out wide. When he's split out wide, and if Seattle chooses to cover him with a linebacker on early downs in those exact situations, it will be a losing proposition. Once again, the Seattle safeties have to be cognizant of where Gronkowski lines up on every play. And the final headache for the Seahawks defense will be matching up with Gronkowski on obvious passing downs. Most NFL teams take their tight ends off the field in this particular scenario and opt to use 4 wide receivers. That's not going to be the case for the Patriots. Gronkowski has made a living this season against nickel cornerbacks. They're just not strong enough to stay with the muscular tight end, and with his better-than-average speed for a player at that position, he becomes a vertical threat, and is a major reason why New England's offense converts at a very high percentage of their third down attempts. Seattle must double-team him in these situations and rely on their stellar secondary to hold up against the rest of the New England receiving corps. In a nutshell, I should say, Rob Gronkowski creates a lot of nightmares for opposing defenses as far as matchup situations. So Seattle will certainly have their hands full, but it's not an impossible task for a very good Seattle defense.
Okay, there you have it. Great information. There you have it, guys. And thanks for your time, Ross. Good luck to everyone choosing your pick for the Super Bowl. And this is Silvia for SBR Picks.
The SBR network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.